Hey everyone, it's Steve from Duo Crew Reacts. We have the whole Zoom crew here tonight to watch When They See Us on Netflix. This is part one of a limited series on there, and this has been suggested by the crew, and there's several of us that have not watched it. So there will be discussions during the film and afterwards, of course. And I'm just excited to really get into this. Lacey is here to my side.
I'll be watching it too. I'm just on the sidelines because I'm not camera ready. But
she is not camera ready. But we have everyone else here that is ready to participate in this. And I'm so excited to actually get to see this series with this group of people. We have an excellent crowd in here. So I hope that we get to hear from all of them. So you'll see all their names as they come up. But anyway, let's get it on like Donkey Kong. Steve and the Duo Crew. Let's go.
Get some of this food before I go back to work.
The Yankees released Gary Ward. He's a two-time All-Star.
Yeah, just like you.
Right, you got your news bus out the way. They're free men. How come you were always hungry?
How come you're never hungry? I was waiting for you to get out of school so we could eat together. Everything better with you.
It's not checking for what are you doing? She ain't checking for you, Ray. Come on, man. Go to the park. Let's go. Let's get to this.
I thought you weren't hungry. I'm hungry now.
Let's go. Go to the park.
No, don't worry. I'll be 10 minutes. I'll be
10 minutes. Aww. Uh-oh. Oh!
Oh, shit.
Are you serious?
White female adult, severe injuries to the face and body.
This must have been happening while everything else was happening.
Yeah.
Time of discovery?
1:30 a.m.
You dragged her in. Right there. Look, clear as day. The assault on the female jogger occurred in the North Park at approximately, let's say, between 10 to 11 p.m. She was struck on the back of the head, dragged into the brush, severely beaten and raped. Did you pick up any gays or homeless or anything? You know, maybe somebody saw something.
Kevin Richardson is 14 in the 8th grade.
Santana, took you long enough. We called you at 5 a.m. and you show up at 8.
I'm sorry. I gotta work. Time to sleep.
Oh, you sleep well with your kid out running loose in the park? You gotta shift the process him out.
Wait, make shift. But I gotta get to work. I gotta work. Sir, I gotta.
Not his problem.
Yep.
Kids.
Oh.
That one.
Bunch of wise asses out in the park last night, hassling bicyclists, beating up people. They're only 13, 14 at most.
You said on your report here they were wilding. What's that mean? Hey, what were you doing in the park last night? See some bad guys out there doing some bad things? Who were you out in the park with?
I was out with my boy Tron.
Out wilding with Tron? Huh?
Uh-oh.
Is Tron here? What's Tron's name and address?
What's this, man?
Johnny was playing in the park and fell. It was so late I hadn't been there.
What you mean late?
Yes, I didn't get into all this thing. So him and Clarence got caught up in the park.
So this is Tron. Okay.
I was following one of these big kids in the park. How you get mud on your pants, Bill? I was running. Oh?
From
The police.
Yep.
Come on, Charlie. We talked about this, man. Boy, you know better than that. I taught you better than that, right?
Okay, Jack, okay. How long we gonna be downtown for?
No. You're making shit.
Why are they going through pictures and shit? What's this about? What?
Those are clothes from last night?
No, sir.
Get the clothes from last night.
Why?
Oh, I know why. Gonna see if any hairs or any, it's, you know what I mean, probably.
Two males
Or,
walking. She was still alive and is in fact still alive. She was taken to Metropolitan Hospital where she is classified as being in serious condition.
Multiple attacks. Bicyclists confirmed on East Drive. 9:15. Hey, Farrell's interviews with the boys are in. All this is happening in the park. And it's not connected. They're not witnesses. They're suspects. Elizabeth Lederer. I want her on this.
Well, Nancy Ryan's on her way.
I'm here. Hey, Linda.
This doesn't sound like something your unit
Hip
should
pause.
handle, Linda.
So, let me get this straight. When she goes to the scene of the crime with this woman,
Mm-hmm.
obviously something happened, but she said she only saw drag marks, like, and could tell it was one person who
she
dragged.
specifically said that one person, that there's his footprints, and her drag marks. So it's obvious that there was only one person.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's
But
saying
she's
that
saying
all
everybody-
of these people are suspects. Not necessarily that there are multiple people
Right, okay.
that did it, just any of these people could have done it.
Okay. And did she say that they did interviews?
Yeah, she said their interviews are in. That's what she just said.
No lawyers, no parents, no nothing. It's just 16-year-old kids.
I think most of them are 13, 14 from what they...
Well, it doesn't matter.
But yeah,
Anything.
they have to have parents there. That's what that one cop was saying when the dad was saying, I have to go to work, but my mom will be here. And they said, well, we do have translators. I don't know about the other kids. So
I don't like that.
it'd be interesting to see
I
what...
have comments to make about that later, but
It'll be
okay.
interesting to see what the victim has to say once she's able to...
Oh, if she lives.
At this point, she's still alive, but she's probably in critical condition.
North Homicide's already working. I got 6 detectives on this. I was at the crime scene before daylight.
Well, I got there before you. I've had precinct guys here interviewing suspects in custody.
You've got a dozen kids harassing bicyclists.
And beating up joggers. These kids were on a rampage.
There were 3,412 rapes reported to the NYPD
Last year.
This has gone way beyond problematic.
This is an epidemic. We are not in control, and we can be.
The two of you work it out.
That's a lot.
Call me as soon as you make a decision.
Okay.
These males terrorized bicyclists here. They put 2 guys in the hospital with head injuries here. And way up here, they brutally raped a woman and discarded her like a piece of garbage. And to think we were going to release these animals to family court and put them back on the streets. At 9:30, they're terrorizing folks here. At 10, one of them's raping the female jogger here. What happened in the half hour in between? What did these animals do between here and here? Are there other victims still in the park?
Seriously?
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need all of them. Every young black male who was in the park last night is a suspect in the rape of that woman.
Wait, why is it every young black male that was in the park? Did
It should be every single person.
every single male that was in the park, right? Because has the victim woken up to say it was a black man that did this or a white man that did this? Or
We don't know.
I don't think she has. So why is it a black male? I don't understand.
Well, we kind of seen what the majority of the kids were doing.
The
They're
majority of them were out just running
Hanging
around,
out.
hanging out.
Yeah. And
There was
it looked
one
like
group.
there was a group.
There
There
was
was like
one group that was beating up somebody, and
Yeah.
then they ran from that.
because that's what kids do.
Exactly.
I mean, I played Ding Dong Ditch. I know how to run. And
I just don't
I've done the
understand that.
same.
I don't
I've done the
understand
same.
how she says every black male that was in the park is a suspect.
Well, right now this lady is.
She's got it in her head that it was one of these kids.
You know, she's seen this epidemic of 3,412 rapes, and rape is a very, very. I mean, that's one thing. It's like murder to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Yeah. But I want to see where this goes, because right now I can see where this is leaning. So
Let's get an army of blue up in Harlem. You go into those projects and you stop every little thug you see. You bring in every kid.
there's the problem. Okay. Did she say bring in?
I think she said question. I don't
Well,
know.
what she's doing is geeking up the police.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
And under false pretenses.
You got ID? Only ID I had was my bus pass. Well, let's see.
These kids
Fits the description.
literally are just fits the description. Okay.
Yep. Useless Salam. 16. I'm actually 15. We'll graduate high school next year. You're telling me you're 15? He skipped some grades. And I changed the birthday on him. Just trying to impress some girls. We'll go with 16.
Really?
Come on.
Wait, what?
What's your name? Corey Wise. He's not on the list. You want to go downtown with your buddy? We'll be right back. Your moms will kill me if I don't. You're a good friend, you know? Sticking with your buddy.
Hey,
What
girl.
the shit?
See my son? And he know he's supposed to be home before I get home. All right, if you see him, you tell him to get his behind home.
I'm gonna tell you right
We've got
now.
Suspects. We've got kids in custody.
You know how I'd be if they took.
Oh, if they took one of our kids
Yeah.
in like that?
Yeah,
Oh, I know. I know.
I'd be fucking hot.
You'd be real hot. You'd be like, oh hell no.
I'd be pissed. I mean, you've seen me. I went and after Caden got pulled over, I went and I found the cop.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to talk? Any comments so far? Because I mean,
This is all ridiculous already.
Hey. Steve was pointing out like he would raise hell like at the police station, but like the thing is like these are like young like people of color, right? Like if their parents are gonna like, you know what I mean, like act like that at a police station right now, that's only gonna go into their case of like obviously these boys they were raised like this, and you know what I mean, like that would only go to their case.
Yeah.
So like it wouldn't even help their case to be like that right now, right? So it would like these parents are stuck in this sticky situation of like, okay, like how do we, you know what I mean? How do we go about doing this rationally and calmly and like, you know, because I mean, I'm sure that they've had to go through, you know, people being racist towards them before, right? So I'm sure
Right.
that they know that they can't act a certain way or else people will perceive them a certain way. Whereas white people can get away with that, you know?
Right, Steve, what you have to think is you walking into a police station and raising hell that they have your child in there is totally different from, you know, a black family going in and raising hell because, you know, you got that white privilege, right?
Mhm.
Whereas they
Mhm.
don't.
No, I totally get that, but it still burns a hole in my
Yeah.
freaking ass that this.
That this is happening and that there's nothing that the parents can do about it, basically.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I get it. I mean, we're only 22 minutes in.
I can't wait to
and-
see how they're treated.
Yeah, whew, I know it's not going to be
These
good.
are kids that
It's not going to be good.
yeah.
Interrogate. Make them name their accomplices. No kid gloves here.
Ah.
These are not kids. They raped this woman. Our
They are
lady jogger
kids.
deserves this.
Jesus Christ. This poor kid, man.
Wait, not him. It's Kevin Richardson. He's only 14. His mother felt sick, so she left. Needed her medication.
Your mother left voluntarily?
It suddenly feels like Christmas.
Really? Oh my God.
There you go. Let's start with you telling us who you were in the park with.
I don't know the names. I just got lost.
Sit up. This isn't a game.
That's mom. Is my mom there?
She left. She wasn't feeling well. It's just us. You and us.
Antron, Clarence told us you two were in the park with the kids who were beating people up.
Yes, sir.
You tell the truth, we clear things up, we send you home, okay?
Why was everybody but you, Yusuf, randomly beating up innocent people?
I didn't go in there to beat up on people. I just wanted to hang with Corey and Eddie. I wouldn't have gone if I had known that's why we were there.
You were just rolling through the park with your boys on a casual stroll.
You know, that's what kids do is they walk
Yeah,
around
yeah.
and hang out.
That's
And,
October.
What do you know about rape?
why
Something
didn't
about
the translator translate that?
Puedo hablar con Reina solo. Un ratito nomás. This call's gonna take a break.
Oh, now she's going to leave? They're asking her to leave? Really?
That's some bullshit.
Yep.
Where did you see the lady?
Who? What lady?
Antron and Raymond saw you messing around with the lady.
What?
Who said that?
Kevin Richardson said you raped the lady in the park.
No,
Wait a
that's
minute.
impossible.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Kevin says it did.
Wait, who's Kevin?
Antron McCrae and Raymond Santana said they saw you rape the lady.
I never saw no lady.
Really?
I didn't know.
Who are you talking about? The lady in the park.
I didn't see a lady or hit anyone.
Raymond saw you hit her.
Who's Raymond?
Oh, come on. This is bullshit.
Listen, man, kids like you don't do this shit. Got too much going for you. Weirdos do this shit. Weirdos and perverts rape ladies. That ain't you. You got no reason to rape a lady. Which is how I knew you're not doing what these other fucking kids are saying. What are they saying about me? They don't even know me. They're saying all kinds of shit.
Wow.
If they did it, is what they say. So if you let me help you, I want to help you. Deal? You get something. You get something.
Otherwise, you
Leah
said.
got herself raped in the park last night. And Kevin, he's saying it's you. She scratched him when she was fighting him up. So what do you think happened?
No. That was police brutality right there.
Kevin did it?
No, they're lying on me. How'd this happen? It's the lady who was raping her, right? When you were shoving your dick right into her. Fuck! You're not gonna bullshit me. I can do this all day.
I told you. Antron McCrae. What was Antron doing?
Held it down, I guess.
Coerced. This is a coerced confession.
Oh my god. The sad part is, we know they had zero shit to do with anything.
That's the sad
What
part.
did you do when you saw
And they're
her?
just building
What
this.
did you first do? Did you
Well,
touch
the
her
one
down there?
poor kid, they're just coercing him, basically telling him what to say.
I ain't seen no.
Raymond Santana saw you rape her.
I know that. Who is it?
Don't you fucking raise your voice to me!
I don't know those boys. I don't know what they're saying. I know my son. Ain't no way he did this. No way, right? See, he's a good boy and we raised him. Right? He ain't got no experience. The world ain't even talked to girls yet. You know what I'm saying?
Soon, right? That's all he's gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
Wow. My god.
How long you been at Imperial?
About 5 years now.
That's a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
The supervisor know about your past, Bobby?
Why is Bobby in this? Why are you...
You know, I ain't been no trouble since I've been there. I mean, it don't really matter because that's behind me now. I ain't been no trouble. Maybe not, huh? You should talk some sense in your kid.
What?
We both wanted to go home tonight, right?
He going nowhere.
He's basically blackmailing him into...
Shut up.
You do what we want, or I'm gonna make you lose your job.
Listen to me, Tron. I need you to do what the police want you to do.
What?
You gotta say what they want you to say.
They want me to lie.
I don't think of it like that.
He's so afraid he's gonna lose his job.
I ain't raping no lady.
Tron, but you're not listening to me. It doesn't. Get your fucking back to him. You're not listening. You're not listening to me.
Oh shit.
These police will mess us up. When the police want what they want, they will do anything. Lie on us. They will lock us up. They will kill us. I ain't gonna let them kill my son. Do what they say. You understand me? Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
This is so fucked up, Lacey. Guys, this is messed up. I don't know what I feel. I'm pissed. I want to be there to be like, dude, stick to your guns, or you know, it's just the kid didn't do this, and I get what he's saying. That cop's a dick. He
All
uses,
of them are.
well, yeah.
Every single one of them are.
So basically, not only his son is being questioned, they actually went to the depth of getting dirt on the dad.
To blackmail Frank, or to put him in a position to where, hey, you need to talk to your kid because he needs to tell us what we want to hear. Otherwise, we're going to get you fired from your job. If you don't.
But that kid, if what's going to happen after this kid's scared shitless, period, end of story, he's not going anywhere tonight. He's not going home. From my understanding, they're trying to pin the rape on this kid.
I thought they were trying to
and
pin
the
it
other
on
one,
the Kevin kid,
and
the real young one.
Yeah, with the
cut on his face. Yeah.
The thing that is really already so draining about this and so awful is like they're already framing they're telling these kids a false narrative to try to force them into saying something. And it's like, that is so wrong. That's on another level. I haven't seen this before, so I wasn't expecting that. I thought they were just going to interview them and then just say they were guilty, but they're doing so much more than that. They are faking the story to plant them at the scene. And that is just...
You would think that they would actually want...
And what they're doing is saying, like, if we were in a group, you saw Tyler did it, or like Tyler did it, everyone else is saying, and...
Even though that's a blatant lie, nobody said that. And with kids, like, when you tell a kid that, like, your friend is saying that it was you. And of course a kid is going to be like, wait, it wasn't me. Yeah. So then they're going to be like, well, maybe it was them, like, I mean, you can't do that. And then, like, my whole thing is like, you would think that they would want to actually find out the truth.
There isn't even a hunch. Everyone that's in there right now they're trying to paint this scenario.
If they had good, if this...
And let whatever rise to the top. Is what I'm getting.
If they had good detective work, right? Good detectives that went in one-on-one with each one of these kids, they would have walked through point A to point B, everything that you remember what happened that night. Mm-hmm. And for all they know, one of these kids could have seen something incriminating to somebody that they maybe can't remember. That, I did see somebody over here that looked like they had... that they were hiding, or, who knows, right?
Yeah. And, the police are, especially this detective lady, whatever the hell she is, she feels the pressure from the media and everything else. She wants to put a stamp on this and get this done. And
she wants to, but she's not really helping
anything
by putting the wrong person behind bars, because that's not going to help anything. That's not going to be justice in any way.
This is her doing
is her doing by calling them monsters, by calling them thugs, by immediately saying this was a young black man that did this without knowing.
That's what's setting this whole thing in motion.
That's what's setting it in motion. It's all her.
Yeah.
She's downstairs at 9:05. It's 9:15 when she gets to the place where she's dragged off the road.
Man, I don't know that I'd be jogging at night around that area. That looks...
You could pull the rape up to 9:20. Maybe she stopped to tie her shoes.
Pull the rape up?
How can these same kids be raping her at the same time they're jumping bicyclists way over there?
Question marks on the timeline. I mean, we got problems.
Because it wasn't them that did it.
There's no ball field. There's plenty of time to attack and rape her.
Change the order?
Yeah.
Change the order.
Is there enough time for all this to even happen?
Well, it happened, so obviously there was.
Wow. So you're just going to change everything to fit your convenience, to your timeline.
What's going on with my son?
Okay, so Antoine held her down when Kevin was raping her, right?
Wait, what are you talking about? Stop. What are you talking about, rape?
Your son was witness to a rape in Central Park. So Antoine was raping her. Now what were you doing?
None. Come on, Ray.
You gotta put yourself in there.
No, wait a minute. What do you mean put yourself in there?
Stop. Was there.
You didn't hear what he just said?
I made a deal.
You made a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So what was she wearing?
Jogging clothes. Like a blouse and like a tank top.
Who took off her shirt? Let's go by who was there.
Coerced confession.
Was it Antoine?
Yeah, Antoine.
So Antoine, he ripped off her shirt. Did he touch her boobies? Who spread her legs?
And the lady was
Really just suck.
And like I was trying to stop it, like hey, stop, like I was trying to. I think she scratched me.
This poor freaking kid. He doesn't know what to do.
We talked about a lot of things. It's all in there.
Right. Can I see it?
Sure.
You didn't even write this.
No,
this
I dictated it.
Who are these boys? I never heard of these boys. Touched her boobs? Kevin.
No, Angie, no. I
Why you say that you didn't do it?
didn't do that, Angie.
He's telling you that he didn't Say nothing. I'm not signing this.
Andy, please sign it.
Come on, want to take your brother home or not?
Yes.
Because we can keep him.
No.
Just because you waive an attorney
He
right
just
now,
wants to go
it doesn't
home.
mean it's forever, right?
I don't even.
And he doesn't.
You get your brother home. You and your mother
I
clear
don't
this
want to
all
stay,
up.
Andy. I don't want to stay here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. Please sign it. I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. I want to go home.
Okay.
I don't want to be here.
I got you.
It's too late. He waived the attorney.
He can't do that. He's a minor.
His legal ID says he's 16.
My son is 15.
Can I see the birth certificate?
Wow.
You know what? I think I'll actually call the New York Times.
Yep.
And inform them that you are knowingly interrogating an unaccompanied minor in defiance of his mother.
There. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're gonna call the Times.
The New York Times, yes. He is a minor.
You can't stop us from interrogating a suspect. Who do you think you are?
I'm his mother. And I'm
Thank
stopping
you.
this.
Yeah.
I'm stopping this right now. Right now, I want to see my son.
The door just opens now.
I'm here, son. I'm here.
Wow.
Look at me. You left a child unaccompanied by a guardian or a lawyer with these men in this room for hours.
Yep. What is wrong with you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, and
This poor kid.
Counselor Lederer. Morning.
Norma.
Here's the latest on the new case. I've been up working on this all night.
Norma.
When these kids are given the facts of the first bicycle assaults, we see moments where their stories actually align with each other. When we arrive at the rape,
Yeah, and then I'll start lying.
Lying tried 5 different versions. I've got to face the judge and prosecute this, Linda. What is your case?
Our case is they're all guilty.
They're
Each
all
of these
guilty.
boys assaulted Patricia Myrie. They
Really?
all raped her.
I'm imagining myself walking into that courtroom, a stack of wildly conflicting statements, no physical evidence, no weapon.
All we need is for one of these little shits to tie this whole thing together.
Corey, I have been informed by the detectives that you wish to make a statement.
What? What?
You wish to say something?
Yes.
Let me give you your rights again. You have the right to remain silent and refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's what you mean. Do you understand?
Listen to me.
Yes.
I'm not going to hurt you. It's
Really?
not going to hurt you, Corey. I am on your side.
Is that right?
Are you willing to tell me the truth about the woman who was assaulted in Central Park on the night of April 19th, 1989?
Do you want to be on the hook for murder?
We came down from the park. Raymond ran it back up, and that's when the lady turned around and started running real fast. I felt bad. This is my first rape. This is my first experience. This will be my last.
oh shit. How did we go from absolutely 0 to 100 here?
Sit down.
I mean, I see, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now he's in jail because they lied to him and said, say what we want you to say and we'll let you go home.
Kevin, right?
See, they don't even know each other.
Who are you?
Raymond?
I knew who Raymond was.
None of them even know each other. And they all apparently did a rape together. So much sense. So much sense.
That's where she got you?
Cop hit me in the park. I saw that. They tell me I'm Tron. It's like Antron? Yeah.
starting to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
I lied to you, man.
They all lied on each other.
I'm sorry.
I think he gets it.
I lied on you too.
Yep, see?
Me too, bro.
Oh my god.
They made us lie. Right?
Yeah, right? See, they don't even know because they're like so confused about the whole situation.
Like this.
What other way they ever do us?
They're gonna braid them. Well, let's go ahead and open up discussion here.
This has been very hard to watch, and I watched, all of it with my 11-year-old Carson, who's on camera now. And when we watched, most of it the first time, we were pausing like every 10 minutes to discuss, what does this mean and what is that? Or
Like we did, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that kept going through my head, the idea of what white privilege really is, because people hear that and they say, well, that means you're just going to get a better job than, or you got it easier, this, and no, that's not it. The idea is you get the benefit of the doubt. No, I was just walking through and I wasn't anywhere near there. And you're believed, generally. It's the opposite for a lot of, especially young Black men.
Right.
And there's nothing they could say or do to get out of that guiltiness. And the other line that hit me is in the holding cell. What other way they do us?
Yeah, what other way would they do us? This is just life for them. This is just the normal.
This is our normal.
Yeah.
I'll lower my hand and let someone else get in.
No, thank you.
I can take up a whole bunch of time here, but we've all got a lot to say.
I think Jerry was next.
Yeah, Jerry.
I am beyond upset at the moment. So I just it's very hard to find the words, but it's just, when you're coerced, into a confession, coerced into accusing others, and it should all just really fall apart for the police department in this case, but we know it's not going to. And it's just, I am beyond mad, that, and still I knew this happened, and, I was alive when it happened. I remember it happening, and I was mad then, and I'm beyond mad now. So. Thank you, Jerry. I feel the same. I think, I'm not going to lie. I've been kind of holding things back a little bit, but
Steve was getting, his eyes were getting a bit misty there. But yeah, I was too, because I put myself in the position of those poor kids and what they had to have been thinking and what they had to have been going through. And it's just, I can't imagine it. And again, that's the white privilege. I can't imagine it because I haven't had to deal with it my whole life. So it's hard to watch. It is very hard to watch because you want to help them and you want to be there and you want to, slap people upside the head and be like, what are you thinking? Why? All the while, the real rapist is out there getting away with what he did and watching all this happening probably yeah. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but
they did a really good job on this, telling the story. You're taking young kids, number one, and it's so easy to have a grown adult break with 18 hours of interrogation and even the tactics that they used in there. Mm-hmm. And what they did was they forced this on their will.
They were walking them through what to say, and especially Corey at the end there. Corey wasn't even he had nothing to do with any of this, was only coming in to be there for his friend. Yeah. He had nothing to do with it.
And now he's absolutely
he's involved because guess what? He's here and he's a friend of Yosef, and so we're going to...
And the only hope that these kids had was with the guarantee that they're going to go home.
Yeah.
So we can...
Well, they literally freaking beat up Corey to get him to say, literally kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, held him against...
To where he's sitting there quivering in the corner, I'll say what you want, I'll do what you want. You know what I mean? That's
he's at it's absolutely sickening. And the thing that got me, and that pissed me off, and as it just kept going on, and the last straw is parading them out like nothing.
Like, look
Here
at
they are.
these monsters. Look at these horrible rapists. Like,
and looking at the cops and their faces with, they know what the fuck they did. I mean, they know how they had to.
well, yeah. I mean, they're sitting there like, oh, well, if she was at this location at 9:15, then there's no way they could have done it because they were all the way over here.
I'm sorry to cuss like I am.
Well,
It's just really.
We can just, what if she stopped to tie her shoes? We'll just add an extra 5 minutes. Like, wait, what? Like, no. And then, like, they literally just changed the timeline to fit their narrative. And you can't do that. Like, what? Like, their mindset is not on proper justice right now.
No. It's the furthest thing from.
It's on, we think these boys did it, so we're going to make their stories fit our story, and we're going to make sure that they're guilty regardless of what the truth is.
And then,
that's horrible.
I'm also, I'm sure we're going to get a good view of the parents, and I put myself in that role. I try to put myself, I'm trying to really put myself in some of the shoes or whatever. And it's so disturbing, and you want to help, and it's just.
Well, I think that's why I just love watching like true stories.
Yeah.
So much more than anything else, because this actually happened. This is real life. You know what I mean? This is something that I look at and I am disgusted by.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fiction. It's reality. And that's where I want to see truth and reality. I want to see what the world is really like. That way, it makes me see things in a different light and makes me a better person all around when I can say, you know what, this is the truth and this is how the world really is. Because I want to see everything for what it is.
I think Craig stated some things that really hit home at the beginning when the show concluded.
Right.
With, just what it is to, like at the beginning I said, well, I'd be pissed. I'd go in there and I'd fucking raise hell, which I would. And absolutely, and here we have the other flip of the side of the coin.
Yeah.
And that bothers me to no end, because you should, it's absolutely disturbing to me.
Well, yeah, the point that was made in regards to you have to try and put yourself in the other shoe, meaning their families, being a black family.
Yeah.
They walk into a police station and start raising hell. It's perceived differently, and it's, they can't do that the same way that you could do it. You could go in there and be like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck everything, like, this is not happening, you know what I mean? And, like, they'd be like, I'm sorry, sir, they'd be a ton more respectful towards you, you know what I mean? Whereas they walk in and, just like with the mom, when she initially said, like, my son's 15, and they're just like, the lady's like, can I see his birth certificate? Like, she had to say, you know what, I'm going to go to the New York Times. And, like, literally, that's what...
I was so proud.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that woman, and I'm glad she did that. Great,
well, each one of these parents are fighting for the lives.
A lot of good it did,
yeah.
But...
And then there was, the father who is like,
being blackmailed so that he can get his son to say what the cops want him to say. Like, are you serious?
They're going to do what they want to do anyway, is what he's saying.
And they will do anything.
Yeah.
They literally, he's just worried about his son. Yeah, I'm not going to let them kill my son.
Yeah.
So I had just watched this episode for the first time earlier today, and like I couldn't even watch it straight through. Like I stopped like about 47
Hard.
minutes in,
It's hard
took
to
a
watch.
break, yeah, watched some ridiculousness, changed my mood, and then finished it.
Right.
Yeah, my blood was like starting to boil. My head was feeling hot. I think someone in the chat mentioned the same thing. It's like, is your head supposed to start feeling hot? And I'm like, mine did.
That's-
Yeah, I started getting a headache. Seriously.
On this side of my head, it's
Because
literally
you get so
I started getting
angry.
a headache because it was.
It's like you try, because you're trying to understand like why they're making the decisions that they're making, but you can't understand it because it's beyond that.
And what they kept taking advantage of their like naiveness.
Yes.
You know, like how you mentioned earlier, like even bringing Corey in when he wasn't even on the list. They're like, hey, yeah, you want to tag along as a friend? Like he should have never even been put in that situation. And then they end up beating him up later. You know,
just for the fact that Leah, they needed the glue to seal the deal.
They needed one more person that they could strong arm into, oh, you know what? Well, he's brand new. He's just been sitting over here waiting. So we're going to tell him exactly what he needs to say, which is exactly what they did.
And what I find weird is that these 5 kids that they have interrogating, they're not even the 5 that were involved in the other. So because besides the rape, other crimes happened that night in the park. They're talking about these joggers that were beat up and whatever else was going on. Those didn't even happen by these kids. So if all you mean to tell me with all the people that they arrested that night, that they didn't find the ones that were involved with the joggers and question them like where are those kids and why are, you know, they're like just like they already forgot about the joggers and they're just saying that these kids did it, but they're not even questioning them about that.
They weren't
You know
even the ones that they witnessed the one guy getting beat up, right? And that's why they started running away.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but where are those perpetrators? And then maybe those perpetrators saw something as well with the rape. You don't know. So it also just makes no sense that these are the 5 kids that they have when they're not only are they innocent in the rape sense, they're innocent of all the other crimes that occurred that night.
Yeah,
so that's like a whole nother level thing.
Yeah, they're being kids.
They focused in
Their
on
crime
these
was
5 kids when. And maybe it was because they were younger and more impressionable and would fit that, you know, fit that narrative better to where they could easily.
It's plain and simple. What I'm getting is, you know, they're guilty for being black.
Yep.
In the area.
They were in the area. They were kids. They were black and were impressionable.
Yeah, I was just wanting to make a comment about like what's really getting to me is like how many people nowadays have gotten wrongly convicted because of stuff like this.
Oh, probably a ton. Probably a ton.
Yeah.
Well, I find a huge problem with the prison system seeming to have a lot of blacks and Latinos in the prison system that far exceed I don't even know what the percentages is off the top of my brain, but I know it's way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with you, Harlan. I think a lot of things like this still go on today. I mean, this is a prime example of something that should have never came to even close to this point. And you wonder how many people are affected by that.
Crazy episode, wasn't it? A lot to think about. This is so, because when I watched this for the first time, you know, me being black, being in situations not like that, but somewhat being profiled, being looked at a certain way because I have on you know, when I go to the grocery store, I wear all black. That's just what I wear. It just goes with everything. I'm getting stares from people looking at me all weird. I put on a black hoodie, and I've actually been. I remember the same cop stopped me 4 times in 1 week, asking if I was somebody. And I was 14, around their age. And I just kept telling him who I was, and I wasn't over 20 plus. And he just kept doing it. But growing up, black, you know, your parents teach you things. like Steve, I couldn't do what you do. You can't.
Right.
You. I can't do what you do. I can't. I know that I can't go into a suburban neighborhood wearing all black with a hoodie on. I know I can't do that. It's just certain things you can't do in order not to get racially profiled or arrested for no reason. But watching this, I watched this with my sister when it first came out. She was just crying and just it's just so crazy how we get done wrong for so many years.
Well,
Yeah.
Makai, we remember that one night we were up in one of our conversations, and we didn't dive into this show, obviously. But we did have and I mean, even with the talks that we had that night, I mean, it opens, my eyes, your eyes. I thought it was it was a great conversation, and I do enjoy that. I mean, but seeing stuff like this too, it's I'm going to say something that I've even said, had it been, and you can agree or disagree with me, but had it been black protesters that went into the White House, I think that there would have been it would have been, there would have been killings. Like,
we would have been shot.
Yes.
We would have been shot, beaten up. There would have been way more
I don't know
arrests. There would have been random arrests, people who weren't even there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, I said that because I truly do mean it. And that's,
I think it's important for people of all different backgrounds and cultures to just understand what each other has to go through and how it differs from how, like me and you, we can basically go where we want, do what we want, wear what we want without that fear of what am
I've never felt a day where I was fucked with that I couldn't fuck with them back.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I can go anywhere, do anything, say anything to a cop, to anybody, and not be afraid that I'm going to get shot, not be afraid that I'm going to get arrested for no reason. Whereas Makai or Leah don't have that same... They have that constant fear in their heads, and that's ridiculous. That should not be a thing.
A crazy story. It wasn't really that crazy. I was in a corner store, and the dude, he was white. He was the owner there. It was one dude, taking your stuff and you pay for it. And then there was another dude in the store. He literally follows me around the entire store, just looking at me. Every time I look at him, they give you that little smirk, right? That little smirk and the heads up. I'm like, can you, I'm just here to get a honey bun. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some Doritos.
Racial profiling at its best, right?
It's crazy. And it's like, you watch this and like, wow, this could be me. And then after I watched this, when I watched this, which is this came out 2 years ago. I was about, and my mom just had a long talk with me about stuff. We always talk about stuff like this since I was little. I'm glad I'm blessed enough that I haven't been in a situation like that.
Get
beat up by the police.
Makai, that's just the thing. I think this is a very important show to watch, to understand, I mean, how do I put this? To really get a real gut punch to what's going on. And there needs to be, there has to be change. This is not, this isn't life. This isn't the way it should be. And I'm glad we're on this journey. I really am.
Like that one episode. I remember this by heart. And this will made me really be connected to you guys. It was the second episode of The Walking Dead. Merle, he was being racist, and you said one thing that it should be in everyone's head. It's one race, the human race.
Yep, exactly.
Discrimination should just stop. I shouldn't be getting judged for how I look, how I dress, how I talk, what type of slang I use. It's just it just gets ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
We all bleed red.
Yep.
We're all the same. And it's just ridiculous that things like
Well,
this happen.
it'd be nice to be able to say that, but it's not reality.
It's not reality. No.
And that's where I think moving forward, even if it's in little ways, each one of us plays a huge role in that. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty woke to it. I mean, the greatest thing, and I'll say this, I mean, the greatest thing that ever happened in my life was having two very wonderful parents that raised me right, and by serving in the armed forces. And, you know, from those experiences, I've always been able to carry myself with, you know, dignity towards everybody. And I don't know, but there is some fucked up people out there, Mackay, and obviously this is showing the worst of the worst. And
I read Mark, I read your comment. You don't have to be ashamed to be white at all. You know, you don't have to be ashamed of things that people do just because they are. There are things black people do I don't agree with. I'm not ashamed to be black. So don't be ashamed of being who you are at all. Just putting that out there for.
Just be a part of the change.
Yeah.
You know, don't.
That's just it.
Just as long as you're not contributing to the bullshit and the racism and just everything that we witness, you know, even today. Because like some of you said, like this story that we're watching, not a story, reality, it's the truth that really happened, but this could have happened yesterday. It could have, you know what I mean? Because not much has changed, to be honest.
Well, I find it very, very wonderful that we all have the same emotion to this, and we all feel hurt. Some deeper because they truly understand it, but you know, it gets us to that level to where we're feeling just what you've always have known. And and I think
I'd just like to say I'm not ashamed myself because I've got no reason to be. It just makes me ashamed for, you know, the white community as a whole, that so many of us behave like that. I've seen some of the same kind of thing in this country as well. So it's not just in the States, it's over here too. Maybe in a different way, but it's still there. And I think it's a worldwide problem, not just a country problem.
Agreed.
Well, Mark, I remember me and Mackay having our late night talk, and I remember I could delve into that conversation so many times, but I told Mackay, and we kind of went there. And I've been in situations in a tavern where you would have, you know, white people, you know, saying really, really crazy racist shit. And it's whether you participate in that or walk away from it. That, you know, I've seen it. I've heard it. It's disgusting. It's sickening. And
I don't think I could walk away from that. I feel like I would be the one to be like, shut the fuck up. Like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
But I know we've heard it.
But, oh yeah, I've heard people say, I mean, exactly. I've heard people
but those are the people you
saying a lot of shit, and where I'm just like,
you don't give two shits about them anyway. You can't unhear shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean that's the sad problem.
It is. What makes it worse is, like I was saying, I was raised in a community where there was a lot more black people than there was white people, and I'd go around to my friends' houses, and I'd be maybe one or two of the white people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly black people, and that's what I was used to.
Yeah.
I was in that situation for years growing up, from being a young teenager to my 20s. And all that time, I never had any sort of racism towards me from the black community. They were great.
I'd also like to directly address that and say that, you know, there's a lot of people in the white community that are saying that there isn't a race problem, they'll say, oh, it's blacks against whites as well. Well, that's justified. When you've been kicked over and over again, it's okay to fight back. It's okay to hate the people that are kicking you. And that's a bit justified. But just to look down on somebody for the sake of looking down, that's where it's not. And the other thing I wanted to really say about this is there are so many people that need to see this and to watch it. But the problem is those that need to see it most will refuse to watch it, or will see it and will say, oh, this happened 30 years ago. That's not true anymore. Or this may be based on a true story, but there weren't cameras in there. We don't know that that's what really happened. This is what a writer claims happened. And they'll just find tiny little flaws in the story, and then they'll throw the whole thing out because they don't want to believe it. And you can't fix a problem until you admit there is a problem.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, I think that's where open minds and the ones that do watch and participate in the conversations that we're having right now.
Yeah.
It may not be comfortable. It may not be happy or whatnot, but it's real. And those are the things I think that's important here that we take away from like this show and our conversation. It's where we come together and talk. And that's where problems get solved, I think. Communication.
Yep. Hearing each other out, listening to each other. Like, and a lot of these people that do have this problem with racism and everything, they are unwilling to listen.
Craig stated it best.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that are going to say, yeah, that was 30. He's exactly right.
Yep.
That's the same shit we hear every day in social media and stuff like that. They try to paint a better picture of it or a lesser picture of it.
And they try and say this stuff isn't still going on. Okay, Breonna Taylor.
Oh, it's better than
Trayvon
it was.
Martin. Okay, like I have a whole list of people that prove that this stuff is still going on.
That's the fucking point.
Exactly.
That's the point. Because it hasn't changed in 30 years. People say it's better. It's not. It's truly not. We have not moved really that needle ever. And until we do stuff like this and not tolerate it anymore. And I actually say, look, Black Lives Matter. And that's a fact. And we need to support that. And we need to rally behind that because, like I said, if we're ever going to be one race, the human race, we have to also maybe have that gut punch and
stand up for
and make
others.
that move.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking about what you were saying about how like some people will try to say that like racism isn't as bad now as it was back then, or things just aren't as bad. But I was thinking about how the boys were labeled at the very beginning, how they were labeled thugs and animals. And then I try to think of the last group that I had heard be labeled this, and that was Black Lives Matter protesters.
Yep.
You didn't hear the people at the Capitol who were attacking the Capitol be called those things. They were insurrectionists. Yep. They were traitors. Like,
But then when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, was it Trump specifically, or I can't remember, but it could have been Trump specifically saying, I know Trump called them thugs at one point. I remember that specifically. I'm not sure if he used animals, but I know
I don't remember exactly.
I know that he called them thugs.
Try to forget.
Because he said we're going to bring in the National Guard to get these thugs, and like I remember him saying thugs. So yeah, I agree, Rachel, that just proves that this is still going on. Just maybe it.
There's a lot of sickening shit going on in the world today. Yeah. And that's just the thing. I think a show like this really puts things in perspective, and we need to pay attention. We need to conversate, and we need to do the stuff that we're doing right now, because that really is.
It will only help. It will only help when we all talk
it's
to each other
one person
and we
at a
all
time.
listen to each other.
It's one person at a time.
Yeah.
It's until we see stuff like this and you know, show our kids. And it's all in how we build towards better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and take it out, man. Thanks everyone for stopping by and watching the Duo crew react to When They See Us. Excellent show. I definitely encourage everybody to watch it and have these discussions. It's been a privilege talking with everyone here and discussing this sometimes uncomfortable, the uncomfortability of maybe
talking about
seeing things for
the truth.
Yeah. So with that being said, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like or dislike. I don't care. Just hit one of them. But hope amazing happens to you. Until next time, peace out.